Well, what a show. What a show that was, my friend. I tell you what, I feel like I need a nap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, it sure was. It sure was. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. As you can see, it's only two of us in the room tonight because unfortunately Tomas could not make it. But we got Kris here, and he is probably one of the biggest NXT fans I know. So I'm really, really glad to have you back on, my friend.
Good to be back. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and he called that his thinking cap also. You gotta love it. Like right before we started recording, he's like, I got my thinking cap on. I'm like,
I'm ready.
of course. It's a
Ready
gimmick.
to discuss.
Wait for the trademark to come on in. But yeah, here we are. NXT TakeOver WarGames. When they announced this, I had no clue how they were going to do it, given everything that's going on right now and given how they've had to adapt to the Performance Center. But they did it. They did it.
They got that. They got the 2 rings in there.
Yeah, they got the 2.
It was a little snug, but they got them.
Yeah, they got the 2 rings in there. They got the cage in there just fine. And, like, I mean, obviously they wouldn't have announced that WarGames was going to happen if they didn't have a plan for it. But I was just like, I'm kind of worried how this is going to turn out. But, I mean, it still looks cool, given everything.
I don't know, man. I don't work there.
Yeah, but like the cage, like instead of like just being high above in the arena, it like folded in. It was kind of a cool like little.
Oh yeah, they went extra. They were like, no, we got room. Don't worry, we got plenty of room. Look at the walls.
look at how big this room is. We got plenty of room up in the ceiling. But yeah, man, I'm really glad they did this show because this is honestly my favorite NXT takeover of the year. I don't know about you.
It is a great hardcore gimmick pay-per-view. It was really good. I felt it like we were discussing earlier. I thought it was a great old school kind of pay-per-view. That old school storytelling with the modern kind of move set. It was so great. I appreciated this.
Totally. I also love the WarGames concept. I am so hyped that Hunter decided to bring it back a few years ago, and now it's just a yearly tradition for NXT.
So when they announced it, the first year it was going to happen with the three teams.
Yeah,
I had never seen a WarGames match before. I
really
heard of it until they announced it, and I was like, "What?" And the more they were describing it, I was like, 2 rings and a cage that wraps.
Yeah,
that's like structurally not sound. It doesn't work. I couldn't wrap my brain around it. And then the match happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. I understand what they were doing with the 3 teams. I appreciate it, but I like the 4-team like back and forth between the cages when they released them. The 3 was like
it was a little much, I think. Like,
but besides the entrance, that got me into WarGames. It made me appreciate the idea and the concept behind it. I can see it. There's way more room for them to work.
Yes.
And twice the carnage. I didn't know it was like a no rules match until Killian Dane in the first match started chucking in the table. Dude, the crowd was so behind Killian Dane that night. Man. I became a fan of Killian Dane that night.
Yeah, Killian Dane's the man. I was actually this close to going to a WarGames event myself a couple years back when it was down in LA. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it done. But, man, yeah, I love the concept. It's an old school WCW concept. But back in the day, like the cage, it was the same thing. 2 rings in a cage, 4-on-4 action, and then they just go ham on each other. But the main difference is you could only win the match by submission or by surrender, what they called it. And the cage also had a roof on it. But now, it's a much more modern audience. And like how they got around that was take the roof off of the cage so the guys have more room to do high spots and win by pinfall or submission. I guess that's a much more simple concept.
This is jumping for a second, but
yeah,
when the Undisputed Era were making their entrance, I think it was either Joseph or Wade that made a little nod that it was a Four Horsemen's kind of match because
Yeah.
they were the ones who brought it to the party. So they did that for the Undisputed. I was like, okay, I can see this. Four Horsemen, War Games. This is a nice nod. So I like that.
Oh, totally. Me too. Yeah, the Four Horsemen were the MVPs of the WarGames match back in the WCW days. I believe it was a Dusty Rhodes concept. I believe Dusty Rhodes was the one that came up with the whole thing. I'm just going to charge my computer just because I'm noticing how much battery I have. Live recording. But yeah, man. Yeah, the WarGames concept is great. We get 2 WarGames matches this year. We're actually going to kick it off with the women's WarGames match. Team Shotzi Blackheart, and on her team she has Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai, the women's champion. Obviously
Team
not the
Punk
captain.
Rock.
Team Punk Rock. Yeah, gotta love Shotzi Blackheart. Oh yeah, yeah. Then you have Candice LeRae, Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai, and Toni Storm for some reason on the other side. When did Toni Storm turn heel?
I feel like she did this last week, like on Wednesday or like the Wednesday before. She definitely just did it though.
That's so strange. I think that was just done to put a 4th person on Candice LeRae's team because
I don't know, man. Toni got a vicious kind of side to her. She's been a heel before.
She did. I I don't know, man. I feel like she's I feel like she's a better babyface. I don't know. Like
I see it. I see where you're coming from. I understand your argument. I do, but I know she will for a time crush it as a heel.
Yeah, I had a feeling that go ahead.
I don't know if this will last a few weeks. Like by a few weeks I mean like 3-4 months, the span of a story.
Yeah.
Or they could keep her on this. She could hit oil. She could hit a gold mine and blossom into a top heel in NXT. Who knows?
I don't know.
I've seen both.
I feel like with how stacked the women's division is right now, and with all the returns that we were talking about when you were on for 31,
there's so much talent in the women's division in NXT right now. It's insane.
I know.
So many.
So good. But yeah, so Dakota Kai starts off for Team Candice, and Ember Moon actually volunteers to start for Team Shotzi. Shotzi was going to the ring, but Ember was like, nah, fam, I got this. And she just walks to the ring. Ember Moon, I feel like, would be a better heel than a babyface with this gimmick.
I've been waiting for it. Ever since she returned. I'm like, this new gear, this new attitude
Yeah.
it has. I'm like, this is heel gimmick written all over it. And I'm just waiting. I hear it cracking. Something's gonna break soon.
Yeah, I feel like if Toni and Ember switched spots in this match, like, I feel like it would have made it 10 times better.
Yes, I see it. But here's Toni on Team Punk Rock makes sense.
It's way too obvious.
Ember Moon on Team. Well, hold on. Because you got the Poison Pixie Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the evil queen and her muscle.
Her
Dakota Kai and
Raquel.
I don't know her name, but I'm Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah, China 2.0. Pretty much, like they're pushing her like a China.
I could see the big bad wolf on Team Poison Pixie. Never mind, I take back my statement. I see where you're coming from with the Toni Storm and Ember Moon switch.
It just felt off to me. Like, I don't know. I feel like Ember was on the wrong team and Toni was on the wrong team. But
I see it.
I don't know if that's just me being a big Toni Storm fan or what. But
you live and you learn.
What's that?
You live and you learn.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, this match was it was a pretty solid opener. I'm not going to say it was like the best WarGames match.
The girls did really well. Oh, sorry. The superstars, the talent did extremely well.
They did.
Told a story, they put on a show. Some of them took really good, solid freaking bumps and hits. I wasn't expecting the foreign objects to come in that early.
They did. Yeah, they came in very quickly. Rhea Ripley, especially, to your point, took a beating in this match. She was being thrown all over the place. She was being thrown into the cage. Man, I lost count how many times she was actually thrown into the wall, but like it was a ton. She took an absolute beating. But yeah, the weapons came in fairly early. Shotzi Blackheart came in after 5 minutes, and she brings in a crowbar and a toolbox for reasons.
Because why not?
And she didn't use it right away. She not only didn't use them right away, I don't think she used them at all.
Okay, so she took a crowbar shot to
Oh, did she? Hold on. I think I have
China
it.
2.0. Like the middle of the match, she like just had the crowbar and she was like, all right, we need something. Okay, go away.
I mean, like, what's the point of bringing in the weapons if you're not going to use them right away? Like, this is where
You're using logic.
This is where I pick this match apart. Oh man, I love all this. I love all these superstars, but like, I just feel like there was a lot of psychology issues. Like, I just couldn't help but notice it. Like, Io Shirai comes in and she's like throwing a bunch of weapons into the ring, and then Raquel keeps like closing the door on her. It didn't take her it took her a really long time to figure out to climb the cage and jump in. Like,
well, that's the thing. I don't think that was supposed to happen. I don't think she was going to climb in, because when she attempted, they threw Shotzi into her, or whoever. Someone got thrown into her.
Yeah, someone did.
I think they were going to keep her off the cage. I think they wanted her to do what she was doing. She just took a while to do it. I think they took longer than expected for that bit to set up.
Yeah, there wasn't like, it was either that or it just came off to me like Io Shirai had no sense of urgency in character. It was like she was taking her time, and like she's a babyface that needs to go help out her team, and they're at a disadvantage right now. But
yeah, but she kind of was just thrown. I feel like she might have been thrown into this match because she was added last minute, right?
As was Toni Storm as a heel. I mean, and Toni did really well, in the role. She like actually got her belt and latched the door shut that way. I'm like, well, I've certainly never seen that before, but
no, that was new. I like that one too.
Lots of really unique spots. There was a point where Raquel had Dakota Kai on her shoulders and she did the airplane spin, and Kai was like kicking people as she was doing it. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, that was early on too. Yeah.
You do you know, like, and then you also get the Rhea and Raquel showdown because you had to, even though they fought at Halloween Havoc. It's not really that special anymore. But
I know, but you just don't have those two titans going against each other every so often, so it's like
yeah,
hype.
Good hype. For sure.
As someone would say, cheap pop.
Bang bang. Let's see, but yeah, no, this match was fun. I mean, like, once Io finally got into the ring, that was a sweet spot with the trash can. She was like wearing the trash can and she jumped on the whole pile.
That was funny. I was like, I've never seen someone put themselves in it. That was creative. I really like that.
It was very creative, but at the same time, I was like, that had to have been really scary for Io to do.
I was so worried. Oh, the second one where I think it was Dakota did the double stomp.
Dakota did it.
Someone did.
Oh yeah. Io, she got the trash can, and then man,
she was like stuck in there. I was like, oh my god. Are they going to get it off?
It took her a minute to get Io out of the trash can and for the pin. But, there was also the really sick, speaking of Dakota Kai, she took a beating in this match also. Ember Moon jumps off the top and hits the Eclipse and then chest first into the back of the chair. And I'm like, that's really dumb. But it looked really cool.
Okay.
Like,
there's one thing that always gets me, and it's things to the ribs. So, like, chops, I feel chops. And then every time it's ribs to a chair, I feel it. It hurts. It's not I don't like it. It hurts. Why do they do that to themselves? It's just pain. That's not fun. And anyone who thinks wrestling is fake, that's not fun. That hurts.
No. Wrestling is for sure not fake. They really get hurt out there.
From partial personal experience, that hurts.
Yeah, and not only it's just a regular chair shot, that hurts enough. But when you actually take a bump onto the back of the chair while it's set up, that's even worse.
That has no give.
No.
Like when you get wrapped with a chair, the chair can bend. It can move to your back.
Yeah, it was...
That does not give. It stays put.
Nuts. I don't Dakota Kai should not have kicked out of that. Thank God Toni Storm was there to break it up. She hit the Storm Zero on Ember onto the trash can. Yeah, just kind of getting to the end of the match. Shotzi sentons off of a ladder onto Candice. Io hits a moonsault on Kai, broken up by Toni. And Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai is up top, and she powerbombs Io through a ladder bridge.
Yes.
And she actually pins the NXT Women's Champion.
Yes.
Title match at the next TakeOver. There it is. Raquel Gonzalez.
I guess so.
And Io Shirai. Or the next special event on the weekly NXT, New Year's Evil is what they called it.
It was very interestingly named.
Yeah. They could just bring back an old WCW name like this one.
They're getting really good with these.
Yeah, for sure. But this was a very fun opener. I gave it 3.5, 3 3/4. I had fun with it. But again, there were just some psychology issues that I just couldn't get past. And I don't know. To me, compared to the other WarGames match, they just felt like it was there just for the sake of having another one on the card. You know what I mean? I feel like this one...
I like it. I think they did a good job. They told the story well. Sure, I feel like the move sets were a little bit here and there in the realm of telling a good, clean story. I give it a 3.5, 4.
3.5, 4. All right. Yeah. No. Hey, that's a fair rating for sure. It was definitely a very fun way to kick off the show. The first half. That's another thing about these WarGames matches. There's no some people can't really get behind this concept because you can't pin somebody until everybody's in the match.
I like it a little bit. I understand why they do it because no one wants. It's okay. First two guys are in. Quick pin. Okay.
Yeah,
there goes the rest of the other guys' nights.
Right.
They got nothing to show for it now.
That's my whole issue with All Elite's casino ladder match. If I were one of the first two guys in the casino ladder match, my strategy would be to just chuck the other guy out of the ring, climb up that ladder, and grab the poker chip and then just scurry out of the arena and leave those other guys in gorilla. That would be my strategy. But I feel like with WarGames, if the first half is done really, really well, you can have a 5-star WarGames match easily. But this first half just kind of felt off to me. I don't know. It felt like there were spots where they could have gone for pins and they just didn't, and they just kind of looked like, weirdos not going for pins after that. But
yeah,
I don't know. It was. I'm not knocking the match. I didn't think it was a bad match by any stretch. It was fun, but. Yeah. But after that, we do get a Finn Balor vignette, NXT champion, not on the show because he still got a little crack in his jaw. He did say he's going to be back on Wednesday, though.
Ooh.
Yeah, I do think that there's a this was a very smart move to do War Games right now while Finn Balor is out hurt, just so they don't have to worry about, vacating the belt again.
That's true.
But are you ready for this next match? Tommaso Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher.
Okay, so this is when I really was like catching on to the old school vibes. These next set of matches were very gimmick related to this pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
We had Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa, powerhouse brawler versus powerhouse brawler. These guys are grizzly. They know how to drag the match out and make it look like it hurts.
Rough and tough. Oh, really, everything looked like it hurts. Ciampa's selling in this match was so good, and I really thought the story behind this match was brilliant because Timothy Thatcher, it appeared like he did his homework on Tommaso Ciampa. He knew his injury history, and he saw big, giant bullseyes on them. He was working on the torn labrum. He was working on the torn ACL. Big story was Tommaso's neck in this match. And once Tommaso grabbed onto it the first time, he was on it like a hawk.
Dude, it's great. It's a great tactic. We are told in training, it's an amazing part of psychology. It's as cliched as it. Words. It's as good. Cliche as it sounds. Find a body part. Mm-hmm. Work it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Thatcher found multiple body parts. Like, again, Tommaso's entire injury history from when he was in WWE, and he used it to his advantage. And the sick looks in Timothy Thatcher's eyes every single time he gets in the ring is just something I can never get over. There's times where I think he's sicker than Tommaso, which is saying something. Because Tommaso, especially when he was a heel a couple years back, he was a sick bastard.
I kind of want that again. I miss him as a heel. I want Goldie back. I miss Goldie.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think it'll be interesting to see him like chase Goldie as a babyface. And I think that eventual reunion is going to be so sweet. It's going to be so great. I
don't know why I enjoyed it so well, but when he was on his like daddy's home kind of run, I appreciated that. It's like daddy's home and he wants Goldie. I was like, I can get behind this creepiness. I enjoy this.
His gimmick is the belt is his baby. That's pretty much what it is. It's great. But man, this match was so stiff. I loved this. There was a point where I thought this was going to be the match of the night. I'm completely honest.
It could have gotten there. That's my thing. I don't think it should have been the second match. I think it could have been a little higher on the card, honestly. Because you got Ciampa, who is a veteran in NXT, and you got Thatcher, who is a veteran at this ground and pound style. These two know this art.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it could have been a little higher up on the card.
Oh, you know what? Actually, thinking about it, I think if this switched spots with the next match, which we'll get to, like, I feel like it would have made for a better flow of things.
Yes.
Because the match after this...
Not hating on the match after this.
No.
But,
no,
like... Yes.
Well, I'm sure we'll get there. I'm sure you'd love to talk about one of the combatants in that one. But, man, they were slapping each other in the face. And, like, there was one point where Wade Barrett described a Ciampa slap as beautiful. And I'm like, only in pro wrestling.
He had one on Ciampa where it was just like this downward paw, and it just took Ciampa to his knees.
Yeah. Oh, man. There was just everything in this match. Again, to your point, looks like it hurts. So many Tommaso Ciampa clotheslines on his eventual comeback. There was a beautiful superplex at one point. Only Tommaso Ciampa could have pulled it off.
If anyone has never seen Japanese strong style, this is a very decent American representation.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's as catch can as you can get. Timothy Thatcher reversed the fairy tale ending at one point and hit Tommaso with a throat chop. And I'm like, oh no, the neck again. And then I think from that point, he was throwing Tommaso headfirst onto the apron, and then his neck was hitting the apron. And I was like,
that's the consent of the guy. If he thinks he can take it, it's all.
Ooh. I'm like, Tommaso's neck's gonna be a stack of dimes within 5 years. like every time I see that, like I cringe. But you know, Tommaso appeared to be okay, and there was a point where I legitimately thought the ref was gonna stop the match because Thatcher was just beating him up too badly. But I think that's the beauty of this match.
Thatcher during the match, he got busted on his ear. He started bleeding.
Oh man, yeah, that was.
I don't know how it happened.
Right at the end, yeah. So I don't know how it happened, but Ciampa had a sleeper hold on him, and I noticed like Wade Barrett said blood is coming out from somewhere, and then he lets go of the sleeper, and Thatcher's ear is like not even like the outside, like right here, but from the eardrum. It was gruesome, but you know what? He was like, fuck it, I'll just keep wrestling. You know?
They just went another like 10 minutes. No big deal. Bleeding from the ear. What? I can't hear you.
Yep. We'll just keep wrestling. We'll just keep doing
call the match in my good ear.
Oh man. But yeah, stiff German suplexes, they just keep going for a little bit. But Ciampa hits his rope hung DDT. Like, I don't want to call it out of nowhere because he kind of set him up in the ropes. But rope hung DDT, he stacked Timothy Thatcher up for the 3 count. Like, he didn't do the cover normally, but that's brilliant psychology there. He had to stack him up for the 3 count.
Oh yeah, he had Thatcher had the size advantage. He was a bigger dude.
Oh yeah. No, this was so well put together. I would honestly give this 4 1/4.
I would match that, say not 4.5. I do appreciate this.
Oh, this is the only match on the card that really felt like a legit fight, which is ironic because you had 2 WarGames matches on this card. But like,
again, it's that gimmick kind of storytelling wrestling that fit really well with this pay-per-view. It's an extreme pay-per-view kind of story. So you got the WarGames. Now you got the Brawler and the Brawler. The next match.
This was so stiff. Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about the next match? Okay.
I'm totally talking about Ciampa and Thatcher still.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like I've said everything I need to say about this match. Definitely check this match out for sure to the viewers. It's so good. It legit felt like they wanted to beat each other up. It all felt like a mixed martial arts fight in that sense.
Yeah, I see it.
Even though, like, I think Thatcher was practicing, like, they said Thatcher was practicing some form of, I don't know if it was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or what, but
I have no idea. I feel like between the two of them, they've actually, like, learned several forms of fighting.
Yeah. But another thing is it also felt like either guy could have won.
Like, yes, I felt that way too. I leaned more toward Ciampa because, in all honesty, they're pretty even keel when it comes to like momentum. No one was gonna gain anything. No one was gonna lose anything off of this. So I'm happy they put the face over the heel because that's just because gimmick pay-per-views are feel-good pay-per-views. The faces win a lot, minus a few matches here and there. But
except for the match right before the heels went over. But yeah, this was I loved this match. It was so great. But here we are, strap match: Dexter Lumis versus Cameron Grimes.
I appreciate both of those guys. I am a fan of Dexter Lumis.
Yeah.
So much so. I love that character. I love what he has done with that. I remember seeing him in Impact Wrestling.
Hey, I got one thing to say to that though, Kris.
Yes.
It's gut check time. Terrible pun. Terrible pun because Sam Shaw won the gut check competition. Terrible. Terrible. I can't believe I had to explain that. But anyway. It's all good. Anyway, you were talking about Cameron Grimes.
So yes, I love these guys. They're great storytellers. Ever since I heard about them, I watched some of Dexter Lumis's match when he was Samuel Shaw.
Yeah, that's his real name too, actually.
So I watched some of Samuel Shaw stuff. I thought he was really, really creepy when he was Samuel Shaw. I was like, I don't know about this guy. And then he grows the mustache.
The porn stash.
He gets to NXT and they are beautifully writing this like Frankenstein monster character. And I am so behind it. Oh my God. I mark for Dexter Lumis.
It's almost like a Michael Myers-esque character in a lot of ways. Like he just stands there and he creeps you out.
Overpowered horror film creature. It's great. And they've written it so well. And Cameron Grimes could have not been a better opponent for him tonight.
Yeah.
That strap match was it was so good. It was
really good, really good. Kris and I were actually at an NXT house show last year, and I do remember Cameron Grimes' match very well, specifically his entrance. And Kris said, "He's so slimy. I hate him."
I hate him. He's literally, I feel like he puts wax in his like chest hair, like like hair gel. He is like, it's gonna stay put tonight.
It's like the Shield, like Roman Reigns puts that stuff in his hair before his entrance.
Oh God.
Man, he's so good at what he does. But it was a very fun match. This is actually the second strap match for Dexter Lumis within 6 months. I don't know if this is his specialty match now.
I don't know. I feel like I see where they're trying to go with him, like get him a specialty match because he's that kind of character that would have one. But I'm not feeling the strap match for him. Like, sure, he's strong in it. Like, ooh, those snaps were nice. Ooh. Yes.
I actually really like the strap match as his gimmick. Like, because first of all, the opponents are latched at the wrists together. And if Cameron Grimes tried to run, he can't really because Dexter Lumis is on the other side. So, like, the whole gimmick is people are trying to run away from him. And with the strap match, you can't exactly do that. So that's the best way he can beat on his victims, if you get me.
I get that. I like that. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, no, I really had fun with his match with Roderick Strong. Same stipulation. I honestly think I like that match more. I think they were more creative in that one. Yeah. I don't know what it was.
I don't remember that match that much. I saw it, but like...
It was at the Great American Bash, I believe.
Yeah.
He was pulling Roddy like off the apron, and they were taking some sick bumps in this match. Not that they weren't here. They definitely took some really sick falls. I don't know. I just feel like I've seen a lot of the bumps in this match already.
Well, yeah. I can see where you're coming from that. In the realm of storytelling, it was a bit predictable, but it's a gimmick match. It's one of those matches where I thought Lumis was going to go over because I was like, it's a feel-good match. They're going to put the face over. They're going to make it like an ultimate build. Like, I know this was like unplanned, but Lumis had a little blood in his nostril.
Yeah.
And at the end of the match, and I was like, oh, that's cool. If someone's
more blood.
If someone's smart about it, they'd be like, the monster bleeds, it's human. And now Dex, that's a way for them to make Dexter like lose a bit of momentum.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I agree with you there. But are you ready for me to nitpick this match a little bit?
Oh, bring it. Let me hear it.
Okay. At the beginning of the match, you have Dexter Lumis making his entrance first. Then Cameron Grimes comes out with his strap around his neck. And he's like, we're going to use my strap or no strap at all.
I thought it was a trick strap. When they were taking too much time on it, I was like, is this going to be a trick strap? And his is like going to break off at some point in the match so he can escape?
It was just a normal strap. I'm like, Dexter Lumis is the one that asks for this match. So why would Cameron Grimes want to bring his own strap out there unless he was going to gimmick it, which he didn't.
He didn't at all.
And the ref was like, we're either going to use this strap or no strap at all. And I'm like, why does it matter what strap you use?
Exactly. like if you're not going to actually use it, what is the point of bringing your own and making a big deal about it? Like, no, I want mine. It's nice. It's
my cowhide. I don't know. But I didn't really know why they made such a big deal about the strap, but I will say there were a bunch of really fun spots, some I've seen before, but Cameron Grimes does pull out that strap that the referee brought out, and he puts it on the announce table, and then he blindfolds Lumis as a callback to their blindfold match. And I'm like, if this is how Cameron's going to win, like, more power to them, you know? But
yeah, I like the spine buster Lumis hit while he was blindfolded. I'm a sucker for a good spine buster. I like how they look. It's a if you know how to do a good spine buster and you get them up and you slam them down, it's a solid bump 100% of the time. And you just gotta appreciate it. You have to appreciate a good spine buster.
He hit a mean spine buster for sure. Man, this match was another thing about it. The strap match that I really like is how they're able to use it as a weapon in different ways. They're not only able to pull it, but the lashes. No pun intended, of course, but the lashes on the back.
Lash joke.
It. Yeah, but yeah, no, those all jokes aside, they feel like they hurt for sure. They have to.
Okay, so I really don't like straps, like anything leather, anything like long, like strips of stuff. I don't like it because that leaves a sting. Like,
yes,
a sting pain is worse than like a bruise pain, because a bruise pain is like dull. You gotta like touch it for it to hurt.
Yeah,
you feel a sting constantly until it goes away.
Totally.
You've seen the welts when they do strap matches. That big red mark across the back. Oh, I bet you it hurts. I bet you it stings.
Oh, yeah. There were definitely, I think Vic Joseph even mentioned, look at the welts on Lumis's back. And I did not catch how bad they were, but there's no way they could have been as bad as any of the welts that Daniel Bryan's ever had.
Oh, no. Bryant.
He, like, it feels like he bruises like a peach.
Bryan Danielson is nuts.
He is
like nuts
bananas.
In a good way. He's so passionate about the game that he literally puts his body at risk.
Yeah.
The dude was told, all right, you're done. Medical reasons. Sorry, champ. And then he found a doctor that was like, nah, you're good. Go for it. Live your dream, champ. And he's doing it at the risk of his body, just like all the other superstars.
Yeah.
But Daniel Bryan is still doing some crazy stuff in that ring, knowing this is like,
it's a stack of dimes. Again, kind of like Edge or Tommaso Ciampa or Sheamus even.
I get so worried every time I watch one of those guys' matches. I'm like, please be safe. Please be safe. So gentle.
Oh, you could imagine how I felt during that last match then, for sure. But I thought the finish of this match, for sure, the finish I thought was very creative. So they're kind of slugging it out. Cameron Grimes had brought a chair into the ring, and they were just kind of trading punches back and forth. And I noticed that the whip, or I call it the whip now, the strap, it's kind of getting wrapped around Grimes' ankles.
Yes.
Lumis notices this. He pulls it face first into the chair.
I like that spot. I have a feeling it was unplanned, but it worked beautifully.
Oh, it was so clean, actually. Like, if it was improvised, hey, it kind of makes it all the more impressive. But Lumis then locks in a submission, and then that's pretty much it. Cameron Grimes taps out. Pretty simple ending.
I love his submission. The way he just like, yes, the match is over. I have won, my pet. Thank you.
Oh man, yeah.
It just adds to Lumis's character. I just appreciate what he's doing with that.
It adds to his creepiness.
Okay. As can I admit something?
Go ahead.
I correct me if I'm wrong, but is Dexter Lumis's character not Frankenstein the stripper? Frankenstein the male stripper.
You know,
Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't unsee that now. It's a hard point for me to argue. Oh boy. But yes, the submission hold is very good. I gave this match 3 stars. I thought it was fine. I mean, it's a silly feud. I'm kind of glad they're both moving on now, in all honesty. I mean, it's a fun feud while it lasted, but again,
it was a great way to end a feud. It was nice. I liked it.
There was also a point. I have a question for you, actually. So, like, near the end of the match, like, while he was in the silence hold, actually, Cameron Grimes tried to free himself from the strap.
Yes.
And I was like, well, what happens if he frees himself? Does he get DQ'd?
I don't know.
Like, Vic Joseph said there was no disqualifications in this match. But what if, like, so who's to stop him from freeing himself from the strap? Like,
I don't, like, maybe the match stops? Like, because, like, the rule of the match is, like, you have to be connected.
Right.
So, like, if you take it off, does the match just be, like, pause, time out?
I don't know.
He's not connected. He's not bound.
I feel like they would only hold the match.
Penalty, no holding.
I feel like they'd only hold the match if it was a botched, like, you know, if they slipped out on accident, like, but he tried to, you know, intentionally.
I really don't know. I can't tell you. I saw it. I didn't think anything about it. I was like, he's okay. He's trying to slip it off. Cool.
Yeah.
You're tapping out anyway, so. Then
again, no DQ matches over the past couple of years, Hell in a Cell matches specifically, have ended in a DQ, and I was in the crowd for one of those. So, I mean, I kind of have PTSD from that. So, I don't know what would have happened if he kind of freed himself from the strap. But fun match. We get a weird little Karrion Kross vignette with a vulture on the stage, as if he's gonna vulture the NXT title back.
Yeah, was that Karrion Kross? I was like, what is the vulture?
I don't know what the vulture is, but the clock tick-tock is his, like, catchphrase, so it's got to be him. Like, he separated his shoulder a couple months back, so he should be very, very close for recovery.
I thought he was going to be out longer, though.
The guy's a freak of nature.
That man is superhuman if he comes back that early.
Yeah. One thing's for sure, I cannot wait for Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross for the belt.
Oh, I'm so worried for Finn.
Oh, Kross is gonna kill him, I'm sure. But,
I hope this injury kind of snuffed some of Kross's momentum, because that man was on a roll.
He really was.
If he comes back with this, like, if he ever came back with the same momentum he was he was on when he had to relinquish, Balor wouldn't stand a chance.
No, and I don't think he would stand a chance anyway, really, because he was forced to relinquish the title basically the night he won it because he separated his shoulder in his match with Keith Lee.
How Finn-esque.
Yeah, but No, that was carrying Cross I'm talking about.
No, I know, but which shoulder?
It was I don't remember which one, but I know it was definitely a dislocated shoulder. So
how Finn Balor SummerSlam Universal Championship.
Right. Yeah, but they didn't
that'd be weird storytelling.
That's the parallels.
Cross,
I'm starting to put that together.
A few years later.
I'm starting to just put that together. They're gonna totally tell that story when those two face off. But yeah. Hey, speaking of titles, we got a triple threat match up next for the North American title. It's Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, challenging, but the champion is Leon Ruff, if I can speak tonight. He's portrayed as a comedy champion that beat Johnny Gargano a la The Kid and Razor Ramon in 1993.
He's so small. He's so tiny.
He is tiny. He is 150 pounds of just pure fire. Like, honestly, he really, really impressed me tonight. He certainly held his own.
Oh yeah, no, he did great. I appreciate it. I appreciate what he did. I love the like little Brock Lesnar nod where they like had to cart him to the back and then he came back out in the middle of the match.
That was a sick bump he took too. I think it was Priest that hit the Razor's Edge on him through the barricade, and like, yeah, they had to take him out for a little bit.
I think you pointed out like a little bit ago, but like I like this Damian Priest Razor Ramon homage.
Oh yeah,
that's the word I wanted.
He reminds me a lot of a young Scott Hall, except a little bit more athletic.
Oh yeah,
I liked it. If Scott Hall like had some high flying ability, like it would be Damian Priest or Punishment Martinez, whatever you want to call him. But
I love Punishment Martinez. It's such a great word. Like, it's such a great name. I'm so sad they made him give it up. I was like, but Punishment Martinez would go great with the kids. NXT.
Yes.
Yay, family friendly product. Punishment Martinez.
Man. Punishment Martinez. Death metal. But I mean, there was a lot of really good wrestling in this match. I mean, you had Damian Priest, who is starting to come into his own a little bit. Leon Ruff is very underrated, I think, now. Johnny Gargano speaks for itself. Johnny Wrestling. He was wearing Cleveland Browns colors, and they just improved to 9-3 today, and that is the only football I want to talk about today.
I didn't watch the game.
As a Seahawks fan, I'm not impressed, but... I'm not impressed by their showing today, basically. But yeah, we have Ruff is escorted to the locker room, and I'm really concerned that the rest of the match is just going to be Gargano and Priest doing all the work, and then Ruff coming in to sneak in a win. I was like, I
thought so too. I thought that. I was like, is that how they're going to play it? Is this going to happen? And like,
they didn't.
Are they gonna go like heel way or face way? But it didn't turn out that way.
No, and like, to give them credit, they do have Priest and Gargano have developed really good chemistry up to this point. Their transitions are just so quick.
Oh yeah,
so good at countering each other's moves. But here comes Ruff, and he's launching himself all over the place, just flying all over the arena like he's a human pinball. There was a really, really nice springboard spinning cutter that he hit, and I'm like, that is clean. I want that to be your finisher.
I thought it was, and then Gargano
it's such a good move. Yeah, it's such a good move. I really, really like that. Priest hit a flatliner with both guys stacked on top of each other, and Priest
just held him there.
Yeah, he
was just like, all right, I'm gonna just hold him here, like,
and then I'm gonna goozle Johnny real quick while he runs at me. Priest towered over both guys in this, and Priest is a fairly tall lad, but like when you put him against two light heavyweights like these guys, you know.
Oh no, you had the big guy, you had the giant, you had the veteran who knows the game, and then you had the lucky new kid.
Yeah, I mean, these three played off of each other really well. I thought it was a really, really good, really fun triple threat match.
Oh yeah,
Leon Ruff was trying to clothesline Damian Priest down, and I just couldn't help
he
but
just
laugh
kept getting
because,
more annoyed.
and yeah, he was like, "What the heck is this kid doing?" And his like Leon Ruff's facial expressions, I don't think he's going to get enough credit for because they were so awesome. Like he was just baffled that he could not get Priest down. He was like,
No, he's
what?
like, why am I not strong enough?
But why am I not strong enough? Well, you're 150 pounds, kid. But
he's got like 6 feet on you, and
yeah, but Johnny Gargano actually did tie Damian Priest in the ropes of the second ring, Andre the Giant style, so he could isolate Leon Ruff one-on-one. I thought that was brilliant. Johnny Gargano had a great strategy going into this, and kayfabe, he had a really, really good strategy. You got a crucifix bomb callback, how Leon won the title in the first place. I almost called it the Intercontinental title, and I'm like, that's not what it is.
I like the crucifix bomb. I hope he keeps it in his arsenal.
Oh, it's so good. It's such a good finish.
He does it well.
Yeah, it's a really, especially if he has a smaller opponent like Johnny to do it on, it can look really, really clean.
I would have loved to see him do it or try and do it on Priest to make Priest just look like he's wearing him like a backpack. Like, really?
Oh yeah.
No.
Nah, fam. I'm not gonna fall back for you. But it looks like Leon Ruff's finisher is the frog splash, my friend.
I guess so. I guess so. I don't know how I feel about that. I like the cutter better. No,
I do too.
Lie. The cutter was clean.
Because how many people have had the frog splash as their finisher? Way too many.
No, not hating on the frog splash.
No,
the people who do it. Not hating on the people who do it, but it's overdone. Let the legends have it. It's overdone.
A little bit more original. I mean, I guess unless you're Rob Van Dam when that's actually his finisher, or if you're Rey Mysterio doing it as a tribute.
Exactly. Those are I'm okay with. Or yeah. I like Kevin Owens, the bullfrog splash.
The bullfrog splash. I don't think they call it that anymore, do they?
I don't know, but I like the bigger guy change in the name. I didn't think of that. The first time, I think it was one of the first times KO did it on the main roster, and someone called it that, and I was just like, that's brilliant.
Yes. Oh man, so brilliant. But yeah, this match, I don't know if I would call it brilliant, but it was certainly very fun. The ending comes around. Damian Priest is hitting choke slams all over the place, but then you have the most confusing spot of the match for me, because I swear to God, I thought it was Retribution coming out to attack him, but then I noticed that it was the Ghostface entourage. But I'm like, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference because they're both kind of lame. Because Retribution is just a faction of jobbers. Yeah, Ghostface entourage. There was so many of them.
There were, and out of all of them, only one was unmasked.
Yeah, and only one was unmasked. Austin Theory.
Thank you. I forgot his name.
I was expecting Bronson Reed to pop out from under one of the masks.
No,
it would have been a cool swerve.
No, I like thick. I like my thick boy.
Yeah, it would be kind of weird to have him as a heel. Yeah, that's Bronson Reed. Okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah, he is a thick boy for sure. Where was I? I just lost my place, but. Yeah, Damian Priest is fighting all of the Ghostface entourage off all by himself, and they're making them just look even more stupid. He chokeslams Gargano on the apron, and then Leon Ruff hits the frog splash while Priest is distracted. And I'm like, oh, God, this is how it's going to end.
This is how it ends.
This is how it ends. This is such a lame ending.
This is it for me.
Thank you for saving the pin, Damian Priest, because... hits a spinning knee on Ruff. and then the ghost face that eventually is revealed as Austin Theory comes in with the pipe, eliminates Priest from the equation. Leon Ruff does get a roll-up in, but Johnny Gargano hits a super kick, one final beat, and then new North American champion 3 times. Not that I'm complaining.
I think that wasn't supposed to happen. Johnny looked pissed after.
Wasn't supposed to happen?
I don't know. It could have been me, but like Johnny got like the way Johnny got up and was like looking around, like he looked angry. Like
I didn't really think much of it. I thought that was like in character, because he's like, I shouldn't have had to have won this title back anyway. Like,
I see it. Okay, I see it.
It might have been a character choice. I don't think it was a botched ending by any means, because I don't know if Leon Ruff did kick out of the one final beat, it would have been a little bit too much, I think.
My one thing was I didn't know how much momentum Ruff had going into this. Like if they were behind him, sure, he'd keep it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know how Ruff was going to keep the title. No offense to him.
No, not at all.
I didn't know how much momentum he had.
He did look very good in this match, though. I'll give him credit where it's due. But I would give this match, honestly, 3 3/4, maybe even 4 if I'm being really nice. I thought the work was very good. I thought all 3 played their parts perfectly. Johnny Gargano's the new champion, and now I guess he has Austin Theory as his heater. And I also wrote down, no more wheels, Johnny. Don't do it again. As the cat comes in for the interference.
I apologize.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Everybody loves seeing kitties.
Yes. Yes. I will give this one a 3.5.
All right. Yeah, that's fair.
So I like Johnny. He understands the game. He's a student. We appreciate students because they put on great matches.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Priest to me is like Roman Reigns. I don't get the allure.
You know, yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from there. I don't mind Damian Priest. It's not that I'm not a huge fan of his. I don't hate him. I just don't really care. If he wins a title, I'm like, cool.
He's good where he's at. Like, I enjoyed where he was in that match. He plays a good big guy. He was good in that storyline. He just doesn't impress me.
He's just okay. He's there. I see him being a NXT entrant in this year's Royal Rumble, by the way. Calling it.
Definitely. I can see it.
Yeah, maybe to have a brief little showdown with Keith Lee before he tosses him out. I
think Lee's gonna get a push because they just did a chronicle on him. Like it was playing after.
Keith Lee
getting a push, and Ali got one too. I saw that.
Yeah, I think honestly, from the looks, I think Keith Lee's my pick to win the Rumble. In all honesty,
you think so?
Yeah. If I'm being honest, like looking at the field, like of who could potentially win, I'm like, Keith Lee honestly makes the most sense, and him and Drew McIntyre can have a face versus face clash at Mania for the belt. But yeah, as far as NXT entrants go, I think Damian Priest is a lock for that for sure. I don't know if he's called up at this point. I don't know if he has anything else to do with NXT, but
I don't know. I feel NXT is a good fit for him still. I don't think he needs to be called up yet.
Nah, not yet. I do see him being called up eventually. Because you have lifers like Ciampa and Gargano, and
no longer than like summer of next year. Definitely before summer, like around SummerSlam, if not earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's a good like timeline for him. But fun match. You want to talk about fun matches? Main event time. Here we are. Undisputed Era. This. Undisputed Era versus the so-called Kings of NXT.
Oh, how fitting. I didn't know they called themselves that. It's funny because, like, when we were getting into when we first got into the main event, um, like I said before, they tipped their hat to the Four Horsemen with the Undisputed Era.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, it's this old school pay-per-view. That's a nice little nod.
Oh yeah.
And then McAfee and those and the Kings of NXT came out, and my one thought was, oh God, they're playing the Pretty Prince gimmick and his goon squad.
Yes.
This is old school storytelling.
And Pat McAfee
told it well. I give him credit tonight.
He's a goddamn punter, and he's way too arrogant to be a punter. Like, I don't know, man. He looked really good. One other thing before we actually get into the actual match, there's one other thing that I'm way too upset about. The WarGames cage comes down, and the ring announcer feels the need to explain the rules to us again, just in case we forgot, because there was a WarGames match earlier on this show, and she explained all the rules again.
They've been doing that, and I feel the same way. I'm like, I get it. I do, but like, we're smarter than we look, y'all.
Yeah.
We don't need a rule recap. We're we follow the rules more than you guys think.
Yeah. Like, just in case you forgot, here are the rules again, even though you just saw one 2 hours prior.
It's like, listen, I really don't need to know that there's a 5-minute increment before the first guy comes in, and then like each guy comes in after 3 minutes, and like the match doesn't start until all members have entered the cage, and the only way to win is by pinfall or submission, and if you escape the cage or leave, you get disqualified for you and your team. Sorry, my bad.
No,
we really don't need that covered constantly, y'all.
Oh man, yeah, and I guarantee you they're gonna do it for the Royal Rumble. Also, I guarantee you the men's and the women's Rumble matches. The women's is gonna go on first, and then Mike Rome or whoever is gonna explain the rules, and then the men's Rumble match is gonna come around, and Greg Hamilton, whoever it is gonna explain the rules again, just because it's like there's 2 Rumble matches, 2 WarGames matches in the same show. You don't need to explain the rules twice, but.
It's like explaining the rules for every singles match.
Yeah.
Which I'm a little salty that WWE doesn't let the fans do the one fall call.
Vince hates that.
Come on.
Vince hates that.
This match is scheduled for one fall.
One fall. Let the crowd have fun.
The NXT UK crowd. Oh, I love UK crowds. They're so into wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I think that's where the one fall originated from. I could be wrong about that, but
I'm a fan.
It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, but enough with the ranting. This match started off hot with Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne. I could watch these two grapple for 5 hours instead of 5 minutes.
Yes, for sure. These two are phenomenal. They're like, so with O'Reilly's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that fighting style knows how to break an opponent down. And then you have Dunne, who just knows how to manipulate. And like, I'm looking at my hand because like the things he does with people's fingers should not be done.
No, he should not be able to snap the fingers like he does. And he was actually doing some joint manipulation through the cage to somebody at one point. And I'm like, well, I can certainly say I've never seen that before.
I gotta admit,
it's gotta hurt.
I gotta admit, a little bit salty about what they've done with Dunne. I feel like they've turned him in. I feel like they've turned him into that like half man, half beast henchman of the king. He's all surly and quiet now and wears nothing but black.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but I'm going to disagree with you slightly. I do think his heel turn makes a lot of sense, especially on the Undisputed Era, because when Roderick Strong actually joined the Undisputed Era, who was his tag team partner in that match? Pete Dunne.
That's very, very true.
So I think it's a great full circle, like, little narrative, I guess, because now all of UE are baby faces now, and Pete Dunne is just like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. like, similar to like Daniel Bryan calling us fickle, I guess. He's like,
Yes.
You guys are hypocrites for cheering these guys. But anyway, Kyle O'Reilly, great selling of his arm for this first part of the match. Oni Lorcan was the next one to come out.
I liked Lorcan and Dunn working together.
Oh yeah.
Their offense together was tight. They had it on point. Those are some clean moves.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Dunn isn't even his tag team partner. Lorcan's one half of the tag champs, and
with Birch,
Birch,
I feel so bad. I get Lorcan and Birch mixed up all the time.
Lorcan's the one with the mustache.
Okay.
He's the one with the mustache. He puts up the 1 and Birch puts up the 2.
Okay. They're bald men in tights and they throw their hand up really fast, and I'm supposed to be able to tell them apart by a 1 or a 2? Excuse me?
I'm trying to explain this. Like
This is like this is when you and your buddy played generic wrestler on the WWE games, and you're like, we're both gonna be generic wrestler, and
I'm number 1. I'm number 2. They do the tag team campaign in SmackDown versus Raw, and that's what they do. But oh man, here's my thing about this match. I really liked the layout of this match way more than the opener, because it didn't really feel like in this first half before the match beyond began, didn't really feel like they needed to go for pinfalls, really. They just tortured each other for however long it was. It was just submissions everywhere.
It was
joint manipulation.
Oh yeah, it was. I kind of liked it because like the last few times we've had war games, it was very spot fest-ish, where it was just spot after spot. They tortured each other in there.
Yeah. Danny Burch.
They stretched out.
Oh.
They just went for it. They were just like, all right, you're in pain. Go.
You're in pain with the cricket bats, which I was not expecting.
Riley, the shot that Riley took with the cricket bat.
Yes.
That did not sound pretty.
It really did not.
Like it hurt.
Wade Barrett really marked out for the cricket bats, which I don't know if that's...
He was all giddy. He was like, cricket bats weigh more than American bats.
He was rubbing it into Vic Joseph. But yeah, there were multiple cricket bats in there actually, and they were like, yeah, there you go. Yeah, there were 2 of them, and like, man, I can definitely say I've never seen that in a wrestling match. There was one point where Kyle O'Reilly does a heel hook on Danny Burch and he taps out, but
I saw that. I was like, huh.
Doesn't matter.
Like,
you can tap out now.
This is a good nod to show, like, yeah, no.
It doesn't matter.
I think they had the 2 nods they had to, like, yeah, the match doesn't start till all 8 people are in. Because in the women's match, they closed the war game.
Oh yes, I forgot to mention that.
Io Shirai was still on the outside.
Yeah.
And shout out to Tom Caster, the referee. I know him. Well, I know him from school. He's a cool dude. He knows his stuff.
Nice.
Shout out to Tom Caster. Shout out to Pro Wrestling Revolution.
Yes.
They try. So Dakota and Candice LeRae and her team tried to go for the pin, but Tom was like, "No, we're missing one. All 8 in the ring."
Yep.
Like, good on him for really going with the rules, and like I like that nod. Shout out to Tom Caster again.
Yep, great call for sure. And I completely forgot to mention that because it made Candice look like a complete imbecile. she didn't know the rules, even though Alicia explains it twice. But, like the match cannot begin. You can't go for a pinfall unless every single person is in the ring.
Oh my god!
Like, she didn't even know her own rules. Like this, I actually kind of liked better because Birch wanted to tap out, like to get out of the hold, but O'Reilly's like, nah, I'm not letting go.
Like there's nothing you
it
can
doesn't
do
matter.
Slam your hand on the mat. Go for it, buddy.
You can,
That's all you.
You can tap out and bitch and moan all you want. There's no way I'm letting go of this hold.
Yeah, no.
Like,
you're in there. Good luck.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Roddy hits a bunch of backbreakers, of course, which look like they hurt.
Roderick Strong's finisher where he suplexes the person up.
End of Heartache. I love that. I love the end of Heartache. Oh, it's so cool.
I wanna tell people how. Okay, fun fact. That thing is dangerous.
Yeah.
And he does it with ease, effortlessly.
Tells you how good Roderick Strong is.
Night in, night out. He does it. He's just like, yeah, sure. Let me just pull this out real quick. Flip this dude that's easily 200 plus pounds in the air. Make him do a little flip in the air and land perfect timed to where he'll gently just graze my knees and flop to the mat.
Pete Dunne took the end of Heartache. And Pete Dunne took the end of Heartache tonight. It looked so graceful, if you can call an end of Heartache graceful. But, man, yeah, I think that was later on in the Spot Fest, in the match beyond. But the punter eventually enters the match, and he grabs a couple of tables, and every single table has the UE logo on it, and it has each of their names on each one. And he's like, you guys are going through these.
I don't know why, but when they started pulling out the tables with the individual names, my first thought was, oh god, they're going back to the ECW originals versus the Wyatt family.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Like, as I was explaining that, I was like, I can't help but think of the Dudley Boys right now. But yeah, that's what happened, and I was like, at least one of the Kings of NXT is going through one of those.
Oh, at
least
it's
going to backfire.
What did I tell you the last time about weapons?
Introduce a weapon. You're the one that gets hit with it first. Yeah.
They didn't get hit with it first though. They didn't take that one. But they definitely went through the tables.
Yeah, they definitely did. But Adam Cole comes in. This is a genius idea. Like, the Kings of NXT are blocking the entrance, and he notices a fire extinguisher on the floor. And Adam Cole's like, blinds them just enough, and then he just runs in and it's on from there. There was, too many spots to name, really. But
shout out to McAfee, because I think he did this before Cole entered the match, but he did a picture-perfect moonsault.
Yes, he did.
Off of the top to Roddy Strong through a table.
It was a beautiful, beautiful moonsault for sure. It was very good. Yeah, that was the table that had Strong's name on it. So at least they got that right.
This man is not green, ladies and gentlemen. He is not green.
Nope, this is only his.
He should be.
Yeah,
that was impressive.
It really was. This is only his second match, they noted too. After
that man has no fear. I'm going to let you know that.
Give him credit where it's due, for sure. He took a swanton off the top of the cage onto the whole pile later on, and I'm like, that takes balls to do that in your second match.
Pat McAfee, you are a worm. If you ever see this, you are a worm. I don't like you. You are not a cool dude at all. But you earned my respect when it comes to the wrestling world. You laid it down tonight.
That threw me off terribly, by the way. I was like, wow, calling him out. But he did lock in a pretty good figure four at one point, and I'm like, you prick, you're locking in the figure four. But it was
I like that little moment when they reversed it, and like they went from like having the Undisputed Era trapped in a way.
They had them,
and Cole was in the 4. and then he reversed it onto McAfee, and then all of a sudden, Birch, Lorcan, and Dunn were trapped.
Mm-hmm.
I like that switch.
Excuse me when I say this, but they had the Undisputed Era quarantined in one ring, and then basically Pat McAfee had the figure 4 on Adam Cole in the other one, and the Kings were blocking them from coming in to save it. But then Adam Cole reverses it, and it was either that or the Kings did not notice right away.
It could have been either way, but I felt it played out really well.
It was great psychology for sure. Again, I feel like this match was much more well put together from the women's WarGames match.
Well, you gotta think about it this way: the Undisputed Era have been in every single WarGames match
single one.
They introduced it in some capacity.
Every single one they've been involved in, and this is only the second one they've won. Spoiler alert. I mean, they've been in 4 of them, but, they broke 500. But up to this point, their record was pretty poor. But there was a point where Dunn was powerbombed through Danny Burch while he was laying on a table, and it didn't freaking break.
Didn't break.
It didn't give, and it looks like it hurt badly.
It does. When the table doesn't break, it I don't know. Those tables...
Those
tables, they hurt.
You don't say.
But it should break.
You don't say.
You have a 200+ pound guy with momentum. It should break.
They should break as gracefully as Pat McAfee took the flat bump through the table. And I'm like, again, that takes balls. Give him credit where it's due.
Oh, yeah, he took it high on the neck, too. He took that high.
Yeah, he was really close.
When they placed that table, I was like, that table is really, really far in the center. Who's taking that bump? It has to be a superplex or something that has reach. No, McAfee just tried to jump for it.
He tried to get more air than, he actually could have. Basically, and I think he
took it like a champ, though.
He undershot it, but yeah, he continued on with the match. He hit that swanton later on, like I said, but there was one point where he was actually isolated all by himself against the whole Undisputed Era, and if we actually had fans in the crowd, this is where the "You Deserve It" chant would fit wonderfully. This is where the "You Deserve It" chant would fit, because he is all by himself, and he's just getting his ass kicked. And he absolutely does deserve it for everything he said about them.
Oh, for sure. Oh, it works. Oh, it was perfect storytelling. I felt a little bad for Pat. I was like, he gonna get his kicked right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he absolutely did. But man, again, his second match, you got to give him credit. He's got balls for taking the spots he did.
He did great spots.
I think the MVPs of this match have to be Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne, because they were in there from the start, and Vic Joseph was they were in there for 40 minutes, and they're still slugging it out, towards the end.
Speaking of those two, they had a spot in the match that I felt it. It hurt. It was one of those spots where Pete Dunne will put their hand down and stomp on their elbow.
Yes. Oh, on the steel floor, on the divider between the two rings.
Well, that one, yes, he did that one to Fish, but earlier on, O'Reilly had.
It might have been in the beginning, actually.
Lorcan.
It was Lorcan. Yeah.
It was before all 8 were in the ring.
Yeah, it was the 2-on-1.
I think O'Reilly had Lorcan in a submission, and then Dunne came off the second and did that stomp to the. It made a snap noise, not like a thud, not like a slam, like a snap, like his elbow just popped out of the socket kind of snap.
Makes you think.
It did not sound good. It sounded like it hurt.
Makes you think Kyle O'Reilly legitimately hurt his arm on this one.
Oh yeah, he
but...
either sold it really well or it hurt.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. But then you get this is my one nitpick of the match, my friend, because obviously we both love it. But here come all the finishers. Bitter end by Pete Dunne. Kyle O'Reilly kicks out. That one I was fine with. Kyle O'Reilly suplexes Pete Dunne on the floor, the steel floor. That's a 2 count. Again, I'm kind of fine with. Pat McAfee. Oh man, this was the one. Pat McAfee goes for a Panama Sunrise. Adam Cole super kicks him.
I understand. I feel the whole
you know where you're going with this.
World feels this. I feel the whole wrestling world feels what you're feeling at this moment.
You know where I'm going with this.
Panama Sunrise?
Adam Cole hits the Panama Sunrise on Pat McAfee, and he fucking kicks out.
Kicks out at 2. He kicks out at 2.
That should have been the end.
This is one of the things I was talking about. He should be green. Pat McAfee should be green. He should be the equivalent of a jobber.
Yeah. Yep.
He kicked. Not only did he have a clean moonsault, he kept up in the match. He told the story well. He took a Panama Sunrise from Adam Cole and kicked out at 2.
That's how he lost at TakeOver 30. Like, he should have lost there again. Like, that's where the match should have ended, I think. I was like, this is kind of to the point where it's getting ridiculous, and you're kind of putting, like, I don't know, man. The Panama Sunrise, I feel like, could have been put over as a more lethal move tonight, and it just wasn't.
It should have.
Yeah.
If it was done to any 3 of the other team members.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. 2. Especially done.
Mm-hmm.
But McAfee?
Yeah.
He's a retired NFL punter.
A punter. Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. He is a goddamn punter.
He's been doing this for 2 months? Barely 3?
Maybe, like, he had his first match back at 30. That was back in August. So coming on 4. But same difference. Same difference, man. Like, he should not have kicked out.
Most of his stuff has been talking. He's been in more of a manager role than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And he kicks out of a Panama Sunrise in his second match after 2.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm good at math. Something's not adding up here.
No. No. I'm kind of glad you agree with me on this one. It sounds like you agree with me at least.
Oh, I agree. That was like, my one thing about this match. I was like, that should have been someone else, or he should have, like, not kicked out.
That should have just been the finish. It would have been a perfect poetic finish. I'll tell you one thing. If the match ended right there, this match gets my perfect 5-star rating. But because Pat McAfee kicked out, it's just below that. I still love this match. Keep in mind, but he should not have kicked out. He should have laid down for Adam Cole right here. I mean, again, I realize
it would have been the better finish.
Yeah, it's a more poetic finish. Like,
yes, I agree. The way they kind of ended it was kind of just like, okay, now what?
Yeah, now what? You go, Adam Cole tries to go for the last shot, but Oney Lorcan shoves Pat out of the way. He bites the bullet for him. And then Pete Dunne hits the bitter end on Adam Cole, and he goes back first onto the back of the chair. And it's set up. And I'm like, you're stupid, Adam Cole.
Again.
Why do you have to do that?
And the chair, it does not bend. It does not move. It is not a good, like, I understand you want to tell a story. It's your own body, guys. But, like,
yeah,
those of you who want to imitate, just know it hurts.
It really does. That's why they always put the "please do not try this at home" advertisements in front of every single DVD release, you know? But
do not try it at home.
No. These are trained professionals.
If you really want to, Spend the money and learn with a
Go learn.
trained professional.
Mm-hmm. Message Kris after this, I'm sure. But yeah,
DM's
so
blowing up.
yeah, end of Heartache by Roddy on Pete Dunne. That's not even the ending. Kyle O'Reilly from the top rope, knee drop onto Oni Lorcan, who has a chair in front of his face, which has to be really stupid. And that's what gets the 3 count. It kind of felt anticlimactic compared to the Panama Sunrise, if I'm being honest.
It definitely did. It definitely did. They had to throw in a bit of a spot fest to kind of rev it up again. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think anyone thought McAfee was gonna kick out. I think McAfee kicked out because he felt like it.
What a douche.
I don't know. The way Cole looked at him like that was not the story.
Well, here's the silver lining in this. Kyle O'Reilly is kind of getting somewhat of a singles push finally, and I'm kind of glad he got the pin here.
I have a thing about this.
What's up?
I think O'Reilly is gonna turn on Cole.
You think he's gonna actually join up with Pat McAfee and render this whole match pointless?
No. I'm talking about like down the line in a few months.
Oh, like actually splitting off.
Like I feel like the E is gonna start breaking off. Because like after this, what else do they got?
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, they can't do the WarGames match every single year. They eventually have to change it up and put different combinations.
I think what's going to happen is like Strong and Fish are going to go do their own thing in the tag team division.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then they're going to leave Cole and O'Reilly to fend for themselves for a few. And like, I don't know, there was one point where O'Reilly saved Cole.
Yeah.
And then Cole went for he went after McAfee. Like McAfee got to Cole and O'Reilly had to save him. And then Cole went after McAfee.
Yeah.
And O'Reilly just gave him this look of, oh, I can't wait to betray you.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Like long-term storytelling.
Wow.
I see it. I would not be surprised if O'Reilly turns on Adam.
Hey, only time will tell, my friend. But I will say this: as much as I love the UE, obviously, I would not mind seeing that. I think Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly will have really good chemistry in the ring together. I'll accept the split as long as Adam Cole gets to keep the Undisputed theme, because his entrance is already perfectly synced up with it. No need to change it. It's perfect. But Kyle O'Reilly better get a new theme that has a bunch of electric guitars throughout it so he can strum all the way down the aisle.
Well, you think he's going to do that as a heel, though, if he is a heel?
Yeah, well, he can do that and gloat. He can do that while gloating.
Yeah.
He can absolutely do that as a heel, for sure. But, I mean, man, this match was awesome. 4 3/4. I didn't give it 5 stars because Pat McAfee fucking kicked out of the Sunrise, but...
I agree. I give it a 4.5, 4 3/4.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I can't, I can't really argue that rating for sure. But result a bit too predictable for my liking. Also, few too many finisher kickouts, including the obvious. But
you knew the Undisputed Era was going to go over. Like, yeah, I felt it. I was like, this is their match to win.
In the back of my mind, though, I was thinking that it could possibly be the night where one of them joins up with McAfee and all those guys. Like, maybe Kyle O'Reilly. Like, it could have been. It could have been, because in the long haul, other than Gargano winning the title, this event was pretty uneventful. Like, if they had one of the UE members split off, like, that would leave a lot of people talking about this pay-per-view for a long time.
Oh, yeah. But I think it was like I said earlier, I think it was a gimmick kind of pay-per-view.
Right.
Like a make you feel good kind of pay-per-view.
It's the end of the year style of pay-per-view, like TLC.
Oh, yeah. People want to leave happy.
Yeah, they especially want to leave this year happy for sure. But I certainly was happy with this show. I gave it 8.5 out of 10. I'll give it a 9 if I'm being really nice. But Yeah, I mean, at least 2 matches that are at least 4 stars. You can't really give it lower than an 8, really. But main event War Games delivered. Other one was fine. I definitely seek out the main event. I definitely seek out Tommaso versus Thatcher also. What do you think?
I gotta give it a 9, maybe a little higher.
That's fair.
I don't know. I really took a liking to this pay-per-view this evening. I sat here and I was able to dissect it a lot this evening, and like I just saw a bunch of old school storytelling with a bunch of these younger guys who understand the new art form of what wrestling is.
Oh, for
and
sure.
I just saw a beautiful combination of both. I really like what wrestling has come to nowadays. I appreciate us going back to territories.
Yeah.
With all the different wrestling shows nowadays.
Yep. Oh man, it's exciting, honestly. Like with all this competition around right now, like WWE is like you can feel they kind of have a chip on their shoulder to prove that they can still put out good shows. And I feel like 2020 their product has vastly improved. Like there's no wild card rule, obviously. There's no like they had the element of competition last year, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. And they're actually like with this whole pandemic going on and with no fans and they can actually experiment with their roster and like, move them around to different alignments. Like you have the Roman Reigns heel turn, you have the Johnny Gargano heel turn, you have Candice LeRae turning heel.
And it's almost as if it's also got that NXT vibe where it's a smaller arena, so it's a little bit more intimate.
Yeah.
You feel what's going on in the ring. Because there are guys who aren't using mics, but you can still hear it. You'd really need to pay attention in the arenas when they said stuff without the mic, because that stuff is the real stuff. Because they're like, all right, this is like the mic's down. I don't want them to hear it. This is some serious stuff I'm going to tell you to your face to get you hyped for this match. This, and that. You're hearing it now because there's less volume. The cameras are closer. You feel it. You hear it. The Uso and Roman Reigns feud, the build to that, portrayed that beautifully. All of the whispering into each other, like, I love you. I don't want to do this, but like, this is tough love. Like all that, like,
it's great.
I like what it's doing.
It's so great, but I mean, I am excited to eventually go back and be in the stands live, where...
Oh, there's nothing like a good pop.
No, nothing like it. And, Kris and I, we're both already talking about Mania in LA, so we know that's coming.
Goal.
So, what?
Happen. It's a goal. It's going to happen. We're going to do it.
It will, for sure. But my friend, thank you so much, as always, for joining me. It's always a true blast. Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Viewers, thank you for making it this far if you have. I hope you guys enjoy these wrestling discussions. There's sure to be more of them. I'm going to do my 2002 retrospective still with my buddy Tomaso. You guys know who he is. And I'm sure Kris will be back on and wanted to discuss TLC in a couple weeks. We'll see. Oh, yeah. For sure. So, expect a lot more of these. If you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, please be sure to hit that like button down below. If you guys are enjoying all this content, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can. It's free, first and foremost. And if you subscribe, you are the first ones to know whenever I upload a new video like this one. So, thank you all so much for your support. Thank you all for tuning into the video. With all that being said, Back Talk, commence.